Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the always informative, always entertaining, The Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, Mr. Luther Dupree Jr., Mr. Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Ralsano. We have a very special guest on the show today. He's a fan of the show. He also is a very popular guest on many podcasts, including the Original Sports Podcast. A huge boxing historian and boxing fan. He knows what he's talking about, and just a good man. That's Michael Chops Mills. Mike, what's going on?
Man, I'm glad to be here, fellas. Thank you so much for having me again. I've been excited about this. Last night was like Christmas Eve for me, man. I couldn't even sleep. I was so excited about it.
Well, we appreciate that, brother. Thank you. We're going to talk about a bunch of things today, but we're going to start off, and all four of us are going to talk about this. And you're our guest. We'll start with you. Haney Garcia. Not just in the ring stuff, but some of the out of the ring stuff. Go ahead.
Well, I don't even know where to begin without some of the out of the ring stuff. And let's Garcia's the low hanging fruit right now because he's just all over the place. But even Haney Sr., he's getting into arguments with boxers and he's becoming a lot more vocal. When you have your son is one of the tops in the business, to me. There's no need for those sideshow antics, and his dad getting into arguments with other people, whatever have you. So I'm not really a fan of that. But with Garcia as himself, just talking about him, fellas, I don't know if it is drugs he's on or if he's just mentally, I don't know. But as of right now, you guys know how much mental is in boxing. You can't put him into the ring with Haney right now. I don't think so. I think Haney will end up hurting that man at this point.
Luther.
Yeah, I agree.
Good points.
I agree with a lot he said. But on the other hand, Bill Haney's, yes, he gets into it. He's getting into it with AB. He's getting into it with the Russells. But I think he's doing a great job promoting his son. He keeps the Devin Haney name in the business. As far as the fight, you're right. Ryan Garcia is all over the place. He's talking about he was abducted. He's talking about the Illuminati. He's talking about everything except Devin Haney, and I think it's a dangerous time. I don't see him making a fight. I see him having something where they pull him out beforehand and there's a replacement. I don't see him making a fight. Either way,
you don't think it's going to happen?
I don't think he's going to make the fight. I think they have a replacement they're going to have to put in because Ryan Garcia is falling apart right before us. He's not ready to fight. You put him in there, he's going to get hurt. He's not focused. I see him more doing, interviews with Joe Rogan or podcasts than I do
Luther.
of seeing him training.
Yeah.
Devin Haney is in the gym. He's training.
And he's serious.
And he lets his dad do all the little antics. He's not out there like Ryan Garcia doing it. I got
true.
Devin Haney. And I think Devin Haney may be able to stop him because Garcia, we've seen him quit in the ring. We've seen him drop before. And I don't think he's focused.
Smoking?
I agree 100% with my man Chops.
But you were a big Garcia guy.
You said he was the next Sugar Ray Leonard, Jim. What happened?
I agree 100% with Chops.
Well, I'm with Luther too, and Mike. I think that the guy has a ton of skill, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah. Something's
missing.
Not right.
And I agree with both of you. He's going to get hurt if he goes in there not ready mentally, and that's just as important. He might come in. People sometimes think that because somebody comes in the weight, okay, that he's in good shape. No, I don't think he's in shape mentally or physically. And Haney is serious, and I think he's one of the guys that says he's going to retire undefeated.
Oh,
I think. But the thing, Chops, what I don't like is we were talking about Big Baby Anderson earlier, and I'm a Big Baby Miller fan too. At least I was. These guys, including Garcia, have the ability to make zillions, not only in the ring but out of the ring, and they're throwing it away. They're throwing it away.
And that's where it comes to, is he doing drugs? But you guys know they're testing all the time in boxing. So, or is he just mentally losing it? Because as you said, zillions inside the ring with endorsements, he can make more money than computers can count. And as you said, he's throwing it, seriously, and he's throwing it away. And I too, before I thought Garcia was that guy. I really did. But once I had realized when he fought Tank, he took that body shot. That was the first time I had ever seen him hurt. He got knocked down in one fight, but he wasn't hurt.
Right.
I didn't see him fight back once he got hurt.
Right.
And I don't know if that took him mentally, because even before he lost his mind, when he was he and Haney were talking and he tries to grab Haney by the throat. Garcia, you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Right.
So I was shocked on that. And you know what they say? You play for the Steelers, you play for the Raiders, you play for the Pirates. You don't play boxing.
Facts.
You do not
Facts.
play boxing.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if he's not in it mentally, his team has to watch out for him and don't let him in the ring.
And my last thing about Ryan Garcia, when Jim would say all that stuff about him being the next Sugar Ray Leonard, I never thought he had the mentality
Right.
of a boxer. I said, man, he just needs to be a YouTube guy or an IG model because he doesn't have the mentality of a boxer. You know, I would see him do all these things on
right.
social media, but I was like, he's playing a part. Just go play
Excellent
that
point.
part. You can be a movie star and not risk getting your life changed. And I think that's the route he needs to go. Get some help. Now he's on this. I'm going to be Ali. I'm going to expose the industry.
Well, you can talk
No.
all you want.
Yeah.
And,
But it's
and you
gonna
know,
come out-
and to Luther's point, Chops, when Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran, right away he told his and we talk about it all the time, like Keith Thurman hasn't fought in 10 years, and these guys after a loss, you don't see them for a long time. After Sugar Ray fought Roberto Duran, I want him in the ring within 7 months. They fought
I
6
want
months
him.
later.
I want him.
Okay,
Yeah.
because those guys, and let's just talk about that four of Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, and Duran. Those guys, to me, were not only unbelievable fighters, but they wanted it, and they all had money. I don't want to hear about the money. They all had money, but they were hungry, and I just don't think Garcia and a lot of these guys are hungry, including
Yeah, well,
Big Baby
see,
Anderson.
But when you talk about that, those four guys, that era, it was, and they lived by it, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And they wanted to truly prove they weren't worried about their record
Right.
and keeping their zeros.
Right.
They wanted to make sure, you say you're better, I say I'm better. We can't both be right. Let's get in the ring and settle it. That's how it was then.
And we did a thing not too last year. We talked about the LaMotta Sugar Ray Robinson fights, right? They fought every other. But something that Jim and I and Luther, we didn't realize. Yeah, everybody said they fought like 3 weeks later or something like that. But in between time, they both fought. LaMotta fought here in Pittsburgh at Forbes Field. You know, they killed each other, and they fought a fight before they fought each other.
Different mentality back there.
Unbelievable. Okay, now we're going to close the show about talking about our top 10 heavyweights today, but right now we're going to throw some different fighters at you, some different thoughts and fights. What is your thought? Jim, I'm going to start with you. Right now, Canelo. He's going to. Oh, I gotta stop. Luther Chops said this a good year and a half ago. Am I right, Luke?
Yeah.
A good year and a half ago that Canelo would be fighting Munguia on Cinco de Mayo. And Luther called that for anybody. I heard it. And we're disappointed in that fight. Jim, your thoughts on the Canelo-Munguia fight and your thoughts on Canelo before we get to Chops.
Well, Chops, I feel like, in my opinion, Canelo is one of the top 5 fighters that I've ever seen, and I'm a boxing historian, pound for pound in the history of boxing. This is a guy that gets ridiculed because he's redhead. This country does not like redheads.
Jim.
He had to fight his way out of Mexico because they don't like redheads over there. This guy looked like Jerry Quarry, could be his grandfather. Hey, listen, this is a guy that is so disrespected. He was 13-0 with 13 knockouts as a 15-year-old in Mexico, and they don't even count that as part of his overall boxing record. One of the few that doesn't do that. Never ducked anybody. This guy,
stop,
his
Jim.
skill level in the ring is unbelievable. Chops, he's fought 22. Let me say that again. He's fought 22 world champions.
Belt holders. How many
And
belt
I'll
holders?
say this again. Chops, this is a guy that went from 140 pounds to 140 pounds, and they wanted him to fight Fury at super heavyweight.
Oh, come on,
He's
Jim.
the one.
They wanted him to fight
You
Usyk.
are-
They wanted him to fight cruiserweight.
Who said-
They invented a bridger weight for Canelo. Let me just finish with this.
Oh, my
I think Munguia is the modern day. What's his name?
Munguia.
Munguia is a modern day Charlie Burley.
Oh.
Nobody seemed to want to give him an opportunity to fight for a title. He's earned the right by his record to fight for a world title. All you guys was so happy when Charlo fought Canelo.
nobody wanted
And
that fight. No.
Canelo beat him
No, we
out of
did
the
not.
Hall of Fame.
Nobody wanted that
Canelo
fight.
beat him out of the
Did you
Hall
like
of
that
Fame.
fight?
Can we let our guests
you like
answer
that
all
fight?
that filth?
Luther.
We are all dumber from what you just said.
Well,
Did
I
you-
agree,
did
I
we
agree with
criticize
that.
Luther
I
that fight?
agree with that.
Luther, did we criticize that fight, Charlo and Canelo?
All the time.
Thank you.
All the time.
Charles-
No, you was asking for it.
Not that
5
one.
years ago.
Yeah, but
Come on, can we
go
let our
ahead,
guests
Chops.
answer?
Go
That
ahead.
was
Your thoughts on
absolutely
Canelo
ridiculous.
and the Munguia fight.
All right. Well, first off, fellas, I like Jaime Munguia. I've been a fan of his for a minute. I do like him. I'm not going to, look here. And here's why. I just think when he gets in there, and you may not like the guys he's fought, but I think when he comes in to bring it. He's young, he's hungry, he's throwing. I like him. I really
Has
do.
he been tested yet?
No. But here's the thing. No, he hasn't. But here's the thing. On
Standing
that,
Oh, sit down, Jim.
I thought he was leaving. Luther was smiling. He was glad.
fellas, and let's remember, they're looking more at the business aspect than the fighter trying to prove
True.
he's the best in this.
True.
in these days. So think about this: Munguia hasn't really fought tough guys. I'm not going to call him tomato can.
Sea
He's in
level.
better shape
Sea
than
level
me,
guys.
but-
Let's be real. He's fought nothing but sea level guys.
Okay,
Nothing
true,
but.
true. And he's gotten there, no real damage, and now he's about to step into a ring and make the bag. On the business aspect, you can't get where that's what you want.
But do you agree
Yes.
that this is a different level now
No, without
for
question.
him? But for
Without
Canelo,
question. Here's the-
it's a nice name. But shouldn't he be fighting a Benavidez or Morel or something like that?
Oh, without question, Munguia, because of his record, has earned a right to, hypothetically 4-3-0.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt. The guy who fought on the.
Don't sway it. Don't sway
I'm
our
sorry.
guests.
The guy who you
But
said
I'll admit,
he had a good
fellas,
record against Herkovic, like 52-2. Who did he
But
fight?
skill
I'm
set-
sorry.
but skill set, no, he's not. He's never tested and fought anyone like Canelo, and he will realize it's a completely different level.
Okay.
But he's already got the bag. He's already got the bag. But Canelo, we as fans would love to see him fight Benavidez and these other cats. But also in the same token, I'd like to say Canelo has earned a right to say who he wants to fight. Now you lose my respect not fighting the Benavidez.
There you go.
You do lose my respect not fighting the Benavidez because if you want to be the best of all time, you got to beat the best of
There
all
you
time.
go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Whoever, like, even one thing about, you mentioned Oscar De La Hoya earlier. Oscar, to me, fought whoever they put in front of him.
Yes,
I
sir.
always
Yes.
liked that. I always liked that.
Yep.
I was upset and Canelo, to me, to some regard, I thought he was given that first GGG fight. I thought G won that,
I
whatever
agree.
have you. And
I
I don't know.
agree.
And to me, everything started getting slighted towards Canelo at that point.
Yeah.
I respect him for moving up and fighting, whatever, it's light, heavy, this, that, and so on and so forth. But right now, Benavidez should be the fight. To me.
Great
I
point.
do like
I agree.
Munguia, but Munguia hasn't earned the right to be in the ring with Canelo.
Listen, I agree. Listen, I feel like Canelo, he's done a lot of ducking. I completely disagree with what Smoking Jim says.
You've been
He's
wrong
ducking-
before.
And you've been wrong a lot. Listen, I think he's ducking Benavidez. Benavidez is a former WBC champion. He never lost it in the ring. Andre Ward even is calling out Canelo at this point. There's no reason.
He ain't
should-
no
Look, can I
Bert
finish?
Sugar.
Let me reclaim my time, Jim.
Andre Ward.
There is no reason that he should not be fighting David
Look at that.
Benavidez at this point. David Benavidez has been on pay-per-view twice. It would be a huge fight. Munguia brings a nice crowd, but Benavidez 2 times on pay-per-view. It would be a huge fight. There's absolutely no reason he shouldn't be fighting Benavidez. Munguia could fight someone else, a Morel or somebody, to earn the right for the winner. I don't like the way Canelo has moved throughout his career. I think he's hurt the sport of boxing. I think he's crashed a lot of boxing organizations, what he did to DAZN. They
Yes,
brought him
yes.
over there.
Good
he
point.
didn't bring the big fights because he wouldn't fight the top guys. Then he goes over to PBC. He doesn't fight the
Busted that
top
up.
guys at 168. I'm very disappointed with the way he's moved throughout his career. Yes, he's made a lot of money, But is he going to go down as a legend? No. We're going to talk
I
about
agree.
him.
Sounds like
nothing.
you smoking more than
He'll
Big Baby.
never go down as Chavez of an Oscar De La Hoya
You sound
because they
high.
fight
You sound
everybody.
high.
No,
Excellent points.
I tell the truth.
No.
You sound like a fanboy, and you sound like you were smoking something before
Hold
you
on,
made
hold on,
that
no,
senseless
Chops, what
statement.
you said was exactly spot on. And we've talked about it with Luther. You look at it through a fan's eyes, and you
Yeah.
look at it at the business side. Canelo was not going to fight a Morel or a Benavidez or who's the other guy who won him? I mean, like Charlo's a nice name,
Yeah,
but it's
even
too
a
late.
Even a Boo Andrade at that time.
If he had dark hair, y'all love him. Y'all don't like redheads, man.
Listen, I don't
In
like
this
the
country,
way I don't like the way he's moving. I've called out even
For-
one of
how
my
long you
favorites.
been saying
I don't
it?
like the way Tank Davis has moved.
How long you been
in
saying
certain
this,
points? These
Luther?
guys are not for years, ever for 10 years since we've been doing this show.
Yeah,
Jim.
right.
Canelo has not moved the way that the champions we've seen, the legendary ones, have moved. You couldn't name 4 and 5 people they didn't fight for one reason or another, just jumping and picking over divisions. They cleaned out the divisions, Jim, and you know it.
We need a million-man march for redheads with freckles.
Oh,
That's
come on.
what it is,
See,
man.
you always got to go outside, and you know he has not given us the fights that we wanted, and he needs to be called out for it, Jim. And I try to do it every
22
time.
world champions.
Those
so,
and how many of those are legendary
Well,
or they belt
there
holders?
we go.
They're
Right.
belt holders.
There we go.
No, it's not. Here we go.
They're
It's on
world
paper. Belt holders.
Belt holders,
Chops,
I'm just-
before we go to break and talk about our top 10 heavyweights today, somebody who I thought was going to be a star in the ring and out. He had the physical ability. He had everything. And it's not looking that way. And I want your opinion on it as well as Jim and Luther. Adrian Broner.
Man, I think Adrian Broner, in a lot of ways, wanted to have the best sound bites when he would talk at the podium, because he did. He had all the skills. He had a toolbox that was as deep as anybody's I can remember. But fellas, for some reason, from the neck up, he couldn't get it right. In trouble outside the ring. It just, I don't know what. I don't know where it went from the penthouse to the outhouse with him. I don't know, because to me, again, like you said, the skill set was ridiculous. The toolbox, deep as you wanted to go, but couldn't get it together. And I that is one I don't know why. I don't know why. I would like to work. How hard were his training camps? Did he have a lot of yes men around him? He couldn't get anybody to keep his feet on a road called straight. I don't know, fellas. That I'd love to hear you guys take. I don't know. I really don't.
Luth?
Well, I think you caught it. AB had physical tools, but he never had it. He never had the mentality. He never had the willpower and desire. He wanted to be Floyd Mayweather outside of the ring, but he didn't put in the work.
Is that an Ohio
But
thing?
Floyd was a
it's not
show,
a-
though. In the ring, he was serious.
Yeah,
This guy's
Floyd-
taking it.
Listen, he liked the
not
idea
Ohio
of Floyd.
thing? It's not
No, it's not Ohio, because there's guys from Ohio who put in the
Aaron
work.
Pryor.
There's a lot of guys who put in the work. He didn't put in the work, and I think even now, when you see what he's doing, he's going at Bill Haney. He's even going after female boxers, Alicia Baumgartner. The man
Why?
is not serious. What he said with her,
That was ridiculous.
he's one of those guys you can't have around you because he'll stab you in the back. He's arguing with somebody, and then he's throwing all these other guys under the bus because he got mad because somebody said he's broke. He's not focused. He's not serious. He is
wish
a
he
waste
would.
of talent. And I never thought he was all that great. I thought he had some skills, but I didn't have him in a Floyd or the Boots Ennis guys I knew would make it. No, he was a solid fighter, but he didn't put in the work, and he didn't have the mentality. I'm not surprised that his career.
But hold on,
has faltered.
real quick though. Originally, Claudio said his skill set. He was right there with anybody you want. He didn't put in the work, but he had he had the skill set.
Right. Yes, he did.
But what's the old saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
That's right.
That was the saying. He just didn't grind.
Nope.
Because he had what he needed. I thought.
Well, all I got to say is I was jealous because I was hoping he mentioned me with Alicia Baumgartner. Oh, man, that's my baby. But I see things a little bit differently. I watched him as an amateur. He was average. He was he was average from the neck down and below average from the neck up. I've never seen a talent that everybody wanted to see. He was above average puncher. He could take you out, but he was a better talker, this, that, and other thing. He wasn't no Aaron Pryor. He wasn't a whole lot of other guys. I always knew that when he got to a certain level, he was going to get his clock clean, and that's what ended up happening. And right now, I think there's a jail cell waiting on AB. That's his future. That's his future.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you fellas this, and Claudia, you can chime in too. Okay, as you said that you never really considered him upper echelon. He was solid here and there, but you know he'd never be that guy. Did you think that because of his skill set, or you knew early on mentally he didn't have what it
Excellent
took?
question.
I say
Excellent question.
Yeah, I say mentally. I say
Exactly.
mentally.
No,
Skill
He
set,
had feet,
yeah.
men feet.
He had.
Feet.
I thought he technique-wise he was good,
Yeah, I mean,
and he
that's-
had the ability to execute point A to point B.
Did he have feet? Never.
But he wasn't a
didn't have-
dancer.
but-
He
no,
wasn't a
but-
mover.
Well, there's a couple of fights I know he wish he was.
Well, but the thing with me is his attitude and throwing money in the. As soon as he started throwing money in the toilet, but see, Floyd was an act. Floyd wasn't dumb. Floyd was serious. This guy wasn't acting.
Right. This is
Yes.
this is AB. Floyd would put that stuff on social.
Yeah,
but
but
this
Floyd
is
had a
AB.
second grade reading level.
Floyd was trying to promote the fight. He wanted people to hate him, and it was all a game plan. But Floyd was for real. This guy here, that was for real. He's throwing money
You
in the
mean
toilet.
street smart? Because he had a second grade reading level.
Come on,
Whatever
Joe.
it was.
No, I'm just
Listen.
wondering what you say when you say smart.
I'm just disappointed in the career. I thought he could have do something. Now he signed with Don King. I don't know. Maybe I thought maybe he'd have one more last grasp. But
He's done. He's done.
All right. When we come back, today's top 10 heavyweights with Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, myself, and our special guest Michael Chop Mills. So come on back to the Boxing Authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. Today's top 10. Today's 10.
Not
Yeah, sometimes,
20, Jim.
Chops, we got to tell Jim, he's got like a notebook of 50 people. All right, you're the guest. It's all yours, brother.
Man, okay. I know you said top 10, but I can give you my top 5. I give you my top 5. After
Okay.
that, I have reasons why it's hard for me to narrow that. Well, probably top 7. We're gonna go Fury simply because of 34-0. I'll give you
Okay.
Fury.
All
Give you
right.
Fury. Okay. I'm gonna go Usyk. I understand he's a blown up. And I hate to call him that because it sounds diminishing, but I'm gonna call him a blown up cruiser. But I don't want it. But I'm not diminishing what he's done. I'm gonna go Usyk. All right? 3. I'm going Joshua only because I can't put him in front of Usyk. Usyk beat him twice.
There you go.
Okay. Now here's where we might start switching up. Okay. I like Philip Hargovich, if I'm pronouncing the last. I like him. I like.
That's
I like him.
Luther's.
Yeah.
That's
I
Luther's
like
boy
that.
from
I like
about
his
five
list already.
about 5 fights ago. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I like him. Okay. Wilder, I'll put in there because he has the heavy hand. He does have that heavy hand. Zhang, I had him higher before. However, excuse me, fellas, I apologize. I forgot Joseph. I put Parker before Phillip. I apologize for that. I apologize. So I got Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Parker, Phillip, and then Wilder.
All right.
And then I go Zhang. And I had Zhang higher than Wilder. However, against Parker, he just didn't do enough. He came out, he had moments where he was strong, as in Zhang. And I just thought, but then again, he looked, what is he, 39, almost 40?
Yeah.
He's not 40 yet.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, and it's hard for me after that because I can throw other guys in there, and there's no. So again, my set: Fury, Uric, Joshua, Parker, Hargovic, Wilder, and Zhang. After that, however you want to go to the last few, I got Dubois, which I did like Dubois, except I think he has a skill set mentally. I think he quit. Andy Ruiz, is he going to come in shape? I have
He's
no
another
idea.
one. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe Joyce I like, but again, not sure. And he's getting up there in age. And then Frank Sanchez. So those guys, you can however you want to put those in. I don't have an issue.
All right.
But again, fellas, after Hargovich, it just bothers me in heavyweight. Not a lot of guys follow with head movement and follow and lead with the jab. That's what bothers me now with the heavyweight division.
Exactly. So listen. I guess we'll get to this.
Look.
Yeah.
I had it written down.
So,
Go ahead.
So where would you rank this heavyweight class? I have 70s, 90s weight, but our
Right.
guy Smoking Jim, he says this is the greatest heavyweight era of all time. Where do you have this heavyweight division?
Very good, Luth.
See, hold on. Look, Smoke. My man, Smoke. Hold on. If you're saying it's the greatest heavyweight class because you never know who's gonna win, okay. But if you're going skill set,
Thank you.
skill set, real quick, just smoke, my man, just real quick. Who in this heavyweight class? No disrespect to Wilder, he might throw heavy punches, but he throws everything with the bow and arrow. It's almost like he's pulling a bow and arrow. Every time he throws that overhand right, you see it coming. Who follows hard behind the jab in this class? Who has great head movement? Who makes sure they dig to the body?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it was Smoke and Joe, whether I like Tyson, whether it was Larry Holmes, there were certain guys in certain areas that were known for certain punches. Right now, Usyk, he smothers you. Wilder has that one punch that he's trying to catch you with. Fury has a nice long jab. There's not a whole lot of power in it. Man, Smoke, me and you've we've been riding, but I can't get with you on this. There's so many other classes in decades I'd put before this.
Thank you.
I just would. Just on skill set, my guy. I would.
Yes, thank you. Jim, you respond?
Well, when I go through my top 10, I think those questions will be answered.
Oh, my
right.
goodness. All right.
Okay, here we go. Get your
All right,
popcorn ready.
My top 10, it was like he said, it was very hard to put this together because there's
It's
so many
changed a
flaws.
lot.
It's changed.
Yes.
There's a lot of flaws in this heavyweight division. This is not a great class. Exciting, interesting, yes. So 10, I have Wilder, and he's dropping fast because
he looked
I don't
bad.
know if he wants it. I don't know if the heart is there, and I hate his new style. Boxing off the back foot, it's not going to work. He either has to get back to being Wilder and trying to take you out because that off the back foot is not. He's going to get himself knocked out and hurt bad. I need this Wilder where he's throwing aggressively, not on his back foot. Number 9, he just got in some trouble, Big Baby Anderson. I was really high on him, but I don't know. I don't like the way Top Rank is moving him. I'm not sure if his
You
head
don't
is in.
like the way
I
they're-
don't. I
okay.
think they're moving him too slow. I think this guy, I don't know if he loves the sport. I think he wants to get in and get out as quick
Which
as
is to
possible.
Jim's point.
So I'm not sure how far he's going to make it, but he has the skill. He has the heart. We saw him go through some adversity against Prince Charles Martin. I have number 9. Number 8, I have Daniel Dubois. Took some losses, but he showed some heart. He's come back, and really I think he could be heavyweight champion. If they didn't give Usyk 20 seconds after a clean body shot, he could have the title.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that we've seen him quit so many times in the ring against Joe Joyce.
Be looking against Big Baby Miller.
Huh? Oh yeah, I would
He looked
love to
good.
see that.
No, against Miller.
Big Baby Anderson, Big Baby Miller. I'd love to see that, and he did good against Big Baby Miller.
That's what I'm saying.
I like that.
Yeah.
Even though Big Baby Miller came in about 500 pounds.
494.
Didn't do any training. He did his training at McDonald's or whatever. It was horrible. Number 7, Smoke and Jim called this a while ago, Frank Sanchez. I got him at 7. He's shown me a lot. He's grown on me. He has good movement. He has the Cuban style. I just don't know if his punch is big enough to keep the bigger heavyweights off of him. But he's very agile. We saw what he did to F.A. Ajagba. I have it number 7. Number 6, only because he hasn't fought in so long, I have Filip Hrgović. You know that's my guy, but he's not active enough. And as you notice, when guys aren't fighting a couple times a year, they really fall off. That's why he's dropped down to number 6 for me. Number 5, Big Bang Zhang. I really thought he was ascending this weekend. Again, no stamina issues came back to play. I think he has to go in with the Mike Tyson mentality.
Yep.
Try
Very
to get
good,
these
Luther.
guys out in 4 rounds because he runs out of gas.
Right.
And the judges have proven they will not give him a decision. In his 2 losses, he's put down Hrgović twice. He's put down Joseph Parker twice and didn't get any love on the scorecards and lost both of them. He has to change his mentality, go all out for 4 rounds because you don't have the stamina. You're 40, or at least that's what it says. I think he's closer to 50.
Yeah.
Number 4, Joseph Parker.
No, 5.
Wow.
You should be number 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, Can I reclaim
No,
my
I'm
list?
sorry.
He's
I wrote-
keeping track.
Yeah,
I
number
can't
4,
count to
Parker.
10.
Joseph Parker has really grown on me. Beat Wilder, beat Zhang. He's had an incredible 2 fights. He's really changed his game. He shows a lot of heart. His chin, he took some major shots from Zhang. I like what Andy Lee is doing with him.
Mr.
Great job.
Butterworth.
Number 3, Anthony Joshua. What he did to Ngannou this weekend, Yeah, I was expecting him to do that. I have him number 3. Didn't like the way he fought against Usyk. I think he should have been more aggressive like he was against Ngannou.
And
but he
Ngannou's
sat
a
back.
bigger hitter than
Right,
Usyk, so
right.
why didn't
But
he-
why was he trying to box with a boxer?
Yeah.
A classic boxer. I didn't understand the mindset. Number 2, Tyson Fury. After that showing against Ndago, I can't put him number 1. That was an embarrassing
so
performance.
disrespectful.
You never know what Fury you're going to get. Sometimes he'll come in shape. Otherwise, he'll come in out of shape. You never know what his mentality is. Very overrated for Jim to say he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Number 1, I got Usyk, a blown-up cruiserweight, but this tells you the level of this heavyweight division. He's dominating these heavyweights, doesn't have the biggest punch, great movement, great skill, in his mid-30s, but I have him number 1.
Can I say something
Yeah.
about my boy? He's been making some big points today. He's been on target today.
Listen, man, we're talking heavyweights. I got to do it. But still, this is not the greatest. I have this
No.
maybe era, maybe
Can't
the
get him to
7th
shut
or
up.
8th.
70s first, 90s,
We can't-
80s.
We can't get him to shut up, though.
Well, let's go, Jim. Let's get your 20.
I want
Let's
to
get
go
your 20.
Claudio.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Before Luther, ton of great points. What do you guys think of an Andy Ruiz Keith Thurman fight?
Oh, God.
Why not?
Is Andy Ruiz even going
Why
to
not?
fight
Neither
again?
one of them fight.
What is
fellas,
Andy
here's
Ruiz
to be
doing?
honest with you. I love fighting. I'll watch 2 old ladies at bingo fight if it's decent. So I don't. I mean, if you-
But Chops, come on, Job. This is
I
what
watch
you do
South
for a
Carolina
living.
fight LSU anytime.
Right. This is what you do for a living, and neither one of them are fighting. But
I know.
anyway, and again, eras, I got 70s, 90s, 80s. Now, I think the 80s is better than this. Okay. All right. My number 10. I got 2 at 10. I'm being like Jim.
Oh, God.
Frank Sanchez, I still can't put him too much higher because I
No.
don't know
you
what
want
he'll
to, but I know.
Yeah, it's
I-
hard
I-
to. Yeah, you're right.
I just don't know what he can do yet. I mean, he's
Skills-
fighting these guys
yeah,
that,
you're right. But his
okay.
skill
And the
set.
guy who popped up is the guy, me and Jim Makhmudov were really high on Makhmudov, and that, I guess, a gig Caballel
Oh, yeah.
dominated him. So I
Very
got him
impressive.
breaking into the top 10.
Good.
I like that
I like
kid.
that. Yeah, I left
He's
him out.
good,
You're right.
but he looked
I need
good.
to see more, but he looked
He didn't
great.
care about the head twitcher's punch.
Yeah.
He didn't give a damn about
Head
nothing.
twitch.
He fought well. Were you impressed with it?
I was very impressed
Yeah.
with him.
Number 9, Daniel Dubois. When you have a punch, anything can happen. It's just, again, is he ready mentally? Because the guys who are at the top, they got there not just physically, but mentally. Number 8, again, Luther liked this guy, I think, when he was 13-0,
Right,
12-0, if I'm not mistaken. That's Filip Hrgovic. But he's got to ramp. He's got to turn it up.
He's gotta- yeah.
Chops. He's got to. We don't know him yet. We got to find out who he is. I hate knocking Wilder down to 7. He's lucky I didn't drop him down a little bit lower because he got dominated by Joseph Parker. I'm putting Deontay Wilder at 7 only because he's got the eraser. One punch can change the whole thing. Number 6, and I'm starting to worry, and I'm hoping, I don't mean to say, I hope I'm not saying a bad thing here. I hope he doesn't go in the lane of Adrian Broner, because he's got the look, he's got the skill set, he's got the attitude, the mouth, the whole 9 yards to not only make money in the ring, but make money out of the ring. When he did to Prince Charles Martin, after Charles Martin pressed him a little bit, I said, he's jumping in my ratings because I was impressed. He took some shots and he gave them back. I just hope that he stays in the right lane because he could be
focused,
a
yeah.
superstar. And I don't say that about anybody else in the division, including Usyk. I don't think he's a superstar. Okay? Well, Fury is because he sells himself. Okay, so I hope Big Baby stays in the right lane. Number 5, I'm not giving up on Zhang yet. Okay, I think he's got a puncher's chance, but like Luther said, you got to go in with the game plan. You know he ain't 40. He's older than that. But you know that you have stamina issues.
Right. Go in
So
there, try to
let's not
spark 'em
try
out.
to get, let's go in there and bang out of the way. Somebody who I never liked, okay? I thought he was overrated, but now he's number 4 for me, and I give him credit because he fought a lot last year, dominated Deontay Wilder, and he fought 3 months later against one of the top fighters in the world, Zhilei Zhang, and that is Joseph Parker. Number 3, he's been on number 3 on my list forever, and Anthony Joshua. Number 2, Usyk. And finally, Fury. Now, Jim has always criticized me when Luther and Jim were at my house after the Fury Wilder fight. I just said Wilder and Fury separated themselves a ton from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, Chops, to our fans and everybody else, it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
And real quick, fellas, and I think that, and here's why. Okay, of course, I've studied boxing, loved boxing for years, but I've also been huge into MMA. And as soon as the fight was over, I text Claudio, what Joshua did to Ngannou is what every boxer should do to an MMA guy when you feel you should step in. This is what I do for a living, and you think you could come over here just because boxing is significantly different than what these guys in the octagon call boxing. That's
Very
not,
much so.
That's not boxing.
Great point.
So I'm glad that's what happened. I love Ngannou, but that's what should have happened. But the fact that you would let an MMA guy go back to the 80s and 90s, you wouldn't have put any of those guys in the ring, whether it been Tyson, Lennox Lewis. No, they would have destroyed them. And the fact they can do that now tells us,
Great point.
tells me the skill set is not there. The power is there, not the skill set. It's totally, before we used to say, he's got a puncher's chance. He's got a puncher's chance. Now we're saying, well, when these big guys are throwing all that leather, anything can happen because no skills involved. And I hate to say that no skills involved. I'm just saying the foot movement isn't there. They're not twisting it to hip when they throw the body punches. They're not getting head movement. It's just different to me in the heavyweight division.
Great
now.
point. Great point.
Hey, great
Smoking
points.
Jim. Me and Luther are leaving now. So.
Well,
Oh my God.
Chops, Luther, Claudio, you guys have fed into what I said. There's not one fighter in your top 10 that Wilder ever beat. And so I'm saying again, this is a different era, and Wilder could never be champion in this era.
on,
And here's my top 10. Here's my top 10 real quick. Ruiz, the guy that beat Mahmoudok,
Caballero.
the Bows,
The boys.
and don't forget Martin
Macaulay.
Who's fighting Cheney?
Macaulay.
All right, now, those are honorable mentions. My number 10 guy. He used to be falsely known as a one-hitter quitter. Now he's just a quitter. Deontay Wilder.
That's disrespectful.
Number 9, Herkovich. Number 8, Parker.
Herkovich.
Number 7, a guy that's 15-0 with 15 knockout, a gold medalist that's 6'7" from Russia that beat Torres in the Olympics.
Come on,
He's
man.
number 7.
How do you have him number
6B? Moses.
That boy's not even 21 yet.
He's going to break Tyson's record. 6A, Effie Ajaba, the African. Number 5, and I had to put him in the top 5.
You got those guys ahead of Wilder?
I had to put him in the top 5, because I had him a little lower, but I got to put him in the top 5 just as respect. Usyk. Number 4, Big Bang Zane. Number
Chops,
3, a guy that everybody's avoiding. This guy can fight. He's unbelievable. Nobody seems to want to fight him. He's undefeated. Frank Sanchez. Number 2B, the Mexican Rocky Marciano, Richard Torres Jr. Number 2A, Anthony Cassius Clay Joshua. And number 1, the greatest heavyweight of all time. He'd beat Ali. He would beat Cassius Clay. He would beat Rocky Marciani. This is Tyson Fury, number 1.
That's
6'9",
the worst
and can
list
do
in
it
heavyweight
all.
history.
That was the worst.
That's the worst list in heavyweight history.
Smoke, my guy. The only one other than you that would agree with your list and their position would be each fighter's mother. That's it. That's it. I mean, fellas, for the Lord, Jesus. Listen to me. This is why I love having these shows, because we can all talk and exchange, but wowzers, man. I don't know about that one, Jack.
There's a guy from Ohio who's 0-1, and Jim's gonna put him on the damn top 10 next week.
You gotta
But
earn
we
it.
love Jim,
You
though.
gotta earn it.
But we
You
love
gotta
Jim.
earn it.
Well, Torres didn't fight anybody. Moses didn't
How
fight
do you
anybody.
have Richard Torres above the guy who beat him in the Olympics, Jim? I'm trying to figure that
Above
out.
Wilder. Wilder can still.
Buster Mathis beat Joe Frazier in the Olympic trials,
Yeah, I'm
and
not
Joe
worried about
knocked
that.
him
Right.
out
Yeah.
the ring
You
in
have
the
Richard-
professional
what
court.
is Richard-
Professional and amateurs different. You can get better.
The Russian, Moses, and Richard Torres aren't in the top 15.
They're not in the top 20.
They're in here. They're here.
You know what, though, fellas?
They're here.
And that's why that's trash. Richard Torres,
Get in the
what
ring
has he
with
shown
him.
you?
Get in the ring with him.
I'm not getting in
Get
the ring with him.
I know you won't.
What's that got to do with it?
Get in
He's
the
not
ring
going to
with
get
him,
it.
yeah.
But you know what? I'm the type of
But
caliber
you
he's
get
been fighting.
you would get in the ring with
I'm the type of
Usyk. I
caliber
bet you
Richard
get.
Torres
I
with
bet you
bad
get in
foot.
the ring
Foot
with
on my
Usyk.
foot.
Hey,
With the bad foot.
Hey, Chops. I guarantee you that Agano would have went the distance with Usyk. He'd have went the distance.
Well,
with
maybe.
Usyk. They fought the wrong guy. He fought.
Maybe. He's
Huh?
not a big
He
puncher.
fought Sonny
But he would have
Liston.
outpointed him easy.
Anthony Joshua is a modern day.
But like
Sonny
Chop
Liston.
said,
Jim.
MMA boxing is 1,000% different, and he would
And
You
out.
don't
know-
think he can break legs?
And you know what, though, honestly?
Great job.
And that is why, because you would put Ngannou is not even the top heavyweight in UFC and MMA. But the fact that you would bring him over to boxing and just say, hey, we'll put you,
Thank you.
in the ring with the top guys, the skill
And
set's
compete.
different
Now
now.
you say, hey, Chops, you say the 70s was great. All these guys could beat Leon Spinks, including Ngannou.
But okay, you mentioned one guy.
You
Hold
did
on,
not
hold
mention
on,
one
hold
guy.
on, hold on, fellas.
Who
Let's
could
not.
Michael
and-
Spinks beat on
Smoke.
my
But that's
list?
not a good comparison, Luther.
No,
Like,
they were
Leon
champions.
Spinks is not
They
the
were
representative.
champions. They were
Luther,
champions.
Luther,
Come on, Jim.
is Leon Spinks
They
a
were
representative of the
champions.
70s,
Was
Luther?
he a
Well, hold on.
champion? He was
Hold on. Let's not even
undisputed
like-
champion.
Jim,
Hold
can
on.
you answer the question?
Let's not even slight Leon Spinks, because let's not forget Leon Spinks wasn't very big. So in every heavyweight they're fighting now, you know where their head is going to be. Fellas, when there's no movement, you think about it, fellas. You guys have all hit the bag. Hitting the bag is significantly different than even sparring someone who has head movement.
Right.
There's no footwork. That to me, the fact that we all have a top different 10, that to me lets you know we can't single anybody out as standouts because of skill set.
Exactly.
And even Usyk, you're talking about a heavyweight outpointing a guy. You're not saying because he has a devastating left that he sets up behind the jab, or he has an overhand right that none of that. We haven't talked on anybody's skill set. We've dropped guys because they haven't had heart, but we're not picking out skill set. And that to me is why it's hard to say this era is the greatest
Exactly.
era. I love it
For
because
me.
you never know who's going to win. I love it because you never know who's going to win. And honestly, the way I don't know, fellas. Ngannou should have never had a chance against Fury.
Right.
Fury should have just ate him up with the jab all night, made his face look like hamburger, and he
Who's the guy
didn't
they
do
make
it.
the Rocky movie about? Wepner. Jeff Wepner went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but with
He
Ali,
went
look, real quick, Chops. The
Come
fight
on.
against
Ngannou would've
Spinks,
went 15
the fight
rounds
against
with
Spinks,
Muhammad Ali.
Ali
No.
didn't care about that fight because he'd have eaten
Yeah.
him up
No,
alive.
he got
Right.
knocked
Yeah.
down.
No,
He just
no,
got
he
knocked
didn't.
down.
I'm talking about
And
against
here-
Spinks.
here's the thing.
No, I'm talking about Chuck
But
Wepner.
when the hell did Leon Spinks become the representative of the
Exactly.
He
70s?
was
Yeah.
an
70s.
undisputed
But
champion.
guys,
The
even
area
if-
I love.
Come on, Jim.
Even if you go, like you talked about Ali and Webner, okay, every once in a while, a fighter could just be matchups. We
was
get
a-
that matchups are
Right.
bad.
It was
didn't
But
beat
you
the
don't
hell
even
out of
talk
Jake
about
beat-
that now in the heavyweight division. We don't even talk about, well, he's a bad matchup. Because all you're doing is throwing heavy punches. Nobody has head movement. Nobody falls. It's just different to me. Smoke,
Chops,
just
an
different.
old Sonny Liston broke every bone in Webster's face. He was bleeding so bad,
he's
they
one of
didn't
the
even
biggest
get to the
punchers. He's
hospital.
one of the
Sonny
biggest
could
But he
hit.
went 15 rounds with Ali.
But Ali
Sonny's
was
one of the
playing
biggest
with
punchers,
him.
yes.
Ali was playing with him. Ali
Come on,
was
Jim.
playing with him,
This
Jim.
tri- this
If Muhammad
triangle
Ali,
theory doesn't work,
if
Jim.
Muhammad wanted, look, if Muhammad wanted to finish Wepner off in one round, in all honesty,
he wouldn't have got knocked
oh,
down.
he was
wouldn't have
playing
got-
with him.
He, wouldn't
He
have
hit
got
him in the
knocked
damn
down.
You know Ali used to play. Come on, Jim.
Ali was, yeah, exactly.
No, you weren't
Luther.
born, Lou.
No.
Jim,
Jim, you know what, Chops? Let me ask you real quick before we go. When I tell you, first Luther, Muhammad Ali, what do you think about? A fighter, like an opponent.
Everything, stick and move.
Okay, and a
Like
fighter.
Bradley.
And against who?
Against
Frazier,
Frazier,
Foreman. Me and Luther. He thinks of Muhammad Ali against Trevor Burbick.
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, yeah. He does. I'm not
Larry
kidding
Holmes.
you. Look, hey,
He
Chops.
always goes to the worst, the oldest fight when they
Chops,
retire.
we're not kidding. I'm serious, Jim.
Even Evander Holyfield. When you think of Evander Holyfield, what do you think about?
MMA.
Chubb,
Evander.
Muhammad
James Toney.
Ali was champion from 74 to 78 and almost fought nobody in that era. From 74 to 78 when he was champ. Don't say Foreman because he wasn't champ when he fought Foreman.
Come on, man.
After Foreman,
Frazier.
he fought but Frazier was
Norton.
washed up.
Norton.
Was washed up.
See, there you go. Hall of Famers. Hall of
Hall of
Famers.
Famers.
Get your saying.
Jimmy
And
Young.
Norton-
And Norton
Shavers.
was knocked out by everybody
Shavers.
on my
Shavers, right.
list.
What about Shavers?
Come on, Jim.
What about
Shavers
Shavers?
was old.
Oh, hell, it always.
Jim, you just
It's
keep
just so
catching L's
different
trying
now.
to say
I
this
mean-
heavyweight division is
Go ahead,
so
Lou.
good.
Muhammad
finish.
Ali fought 12 white guys from 74 to 78.
He's gonna bring up Henry Cooper. Go ahead, Chops. Finish it up. Finish it up. And he
Like
was
you
at the
said,
Cooper fight.
When you think of Ali, fellas, also real quick, we have seen fighters back in the day, like you talk about Ali fighting with the broken jaw, this, that,
Yep.
whatever. Guys fighting through it. Guys now break mentally.
Excellent point.
Good point.
Fellas, think about that. Mentally. When you break mentally, that's a whole different that's a different mindset. There used to be a motto with fighters, I will go out on my sword.
Yes.
I'll fall on my shield, whatever. They don't have that mindset
No, they
anymore.
don't.
When you real quick, I know he's not a heavyweight, but when you saw Ryan Garcia against take a knee, then once the guy hit 10, you stood up. Are
That's
you
right.
kidding
Different
me?
mentality, brother.
Right.
And if Canelo dyes his hair black, me and Luther will start cheering for him.
According to
What were you
Jim.
gonna say, Luther?
No, I'm just.
All right, hey, Chops, we want you on before
Yes,
for a
we gotta
while.
have him back
We got to
on.
have you back on,
Fellas,
especially
thank
since
you.
you agree with me and
Appreciate it so
Luther. We're worried about smoking Jim, but we love him anyway.
Man.
Chops, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Hey, and any chance you guys can get and your fans, the Original Sports Podcast, we have as much fun on ours as you guys do now. We don't stay strictly with boxing. My cohorts don't like his boxing and fight the combat sports as much as I do. But we do have as much fun as you guys do, and you guys keep it going, man. It's great what you guys do to boxing.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank
Love
you.
it, man. Thank you for having me on.
All right, brother.
Appreciate
We'll talk
it.
soon. We'll talk soon. Okay, everyone.
All right, man.
We enjoyed that. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.